your talent, your story, and your spotlight. So we do have a special guest today. Our regular host today is not going to be with us, so I'll be your host today. My name is William, and our special guest is Heidi. She does a lot of performances in Madison, Wisconsin. So she's a singer, songwriter, musician, and without further ado, here is Heidi. And also remember to make sure you like us, subscribe to our channel, and also leave comments. And lastly, register at www.talentjacksearch.com. Thank you. Come on, Heidi. Tell us, Heidi, a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up, where you're from, what kind of got you into music.
Sure. So I grew up in Rock Island, Illinois, and I lived there most of my life until I was about 18. I grew up with my grandmother and my brother and my mom, and that was really my family unit. I wore this sweater today because my grandma made this back in the 70s, and she made it 4 sizes too big for her sister, and nobody wanted to wear it in the family, and it was in the closet until my grandma died, and then I said, I need that sweater. So I like to wear this out and show off her skills.
It's a beautiful sweater.
Thank you. Yeah, and my brother was a big influence on me as well. My brother started picking up the bass when he was about 14, and he really would bring music into the house. That's really where I started to first see someone play an instrument in my home.
So you come from a family of musicians, or just
No.
your brother?
Yeah, not at all. My family is really just the working class story. My grandfather built tractors at International Harvester,
Okay.
and my grandmother worked in the home, taking care of her children, and that was just life for us. Growing up, we had our struggle. We had stuff we went through, and I think that it was really my brother who first found that outlet in playing an instrument. I started off singing. I just always have loved to sing. Yeah.
All right. So you started off singing,
Yes,
and then
sir.
you started learning the guitar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was singing since before I could talk, my mom says. She said when I was a small little infant, she would hold me up to her ear and she would rock and hum to me, and then I would hum it back to her. And I said, I didn't think much of that story growing up, because when you're a kid, you just don't think about that kind of thing.
Right.
But I really feel like it's something that I was meant to be doing if I was able to do it at that small and parrot it back to her. So I feel like it's something really special that I want to share with people. I started learning guitar when I was about 19. I think the first time I really held a guitar, my brother put it in my hand. He showed me how to hold it. He said, sit there, and he posed me up with it, and he's like, you look cool. And I was like, well, all right. Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, you would be a cool chick if you could play guitar.
Nice.
And yeah, it was cool to hear, but it was also like, hey, I'm trying to be a cool chick now, man. But so, I didn't really do much with it when he first said that to me. It wasn't until a couple of years later that I was feeling really down. I was living in Chicago. I had moved up there to do a program called Urban Studies. It was sort of a sociological program where you looked at community resources, and it was hitting me hard trying to live in Chicago and get things done and be a young person. Even though I had the safety of that school and the safety of my family back home helping me out, it was still a rough, hard time,
I'm originally from Chicago.
Right?
So.
We had to take the public transportation everywhere. We had to, make sure that we were doing in our neighborhood. We weren't really supposed to be, going out beyond that. And I got real down, and I basically had about $100 and some bucks left in my bank account. And instead of going and buying my groceries, I went and bought a guitar. And I remember carrying it home on the subway, trying to protect it, getting it home through the subway and the bus and all the transfers and everything. And then I just started to just fiddle with it and play with it and try to, pick things out that sounded fun to me. So for me, it was songwriting first and foremost, was what I've been doing with the guitar. I have a very hard time playing something exactly the way you wrote it, but I could play it the way I wrote it. So that's really where it's at for me.
So did you go to a class or something to learn guitar or in vocals or?
Not really. I had some time in college where I needed to fill my schedule with some more credits, and I did take a half credit in vocal lesson.
Okay.
And I had some vocal training in high school, just through my high school. You know, I did the show choir in my high school, which was really fun. Did a couple musicals in high school. It was really fun. And then I sort of lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, what were you asking about?
So,
lost my train of thought.
Well, with guitar, did you learn classically or did you go to a book or?
The one lesson I had at college was a classical lesson. It was a half credit. It was literally, you know, learning a few chords and a few little finger picking things. But at that point, I already knew how to play those things. So for me, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. No, it's not. It's so different, you know. And as I said, that challenge of playing it exactly the way it's written, that will always be my challenge. Okay. I like to be creative, you know. I always say, like, I'm not a very good cook because I'm too creative. You put those ingredients on the box, and I'm like, well, do we really need to do that? Or we'll change it a little bit. That's where my strength lies, really. Like just adding something or creating something alongside someone else. I enjoy that.
See, my daughter, she's learning guitar. She's been doing it for maybe 5 months, 6 months now.
Yeah.
Taking some, guitar lessons at the Music Foundry.
Sure.
With a great coach, Stefan. And she's struggling with the understanding the standards. She wants, she's only 8, right? But she wants to go in and just, rip on the guitar, right? But she can't do that, so she gets frustrated because she has to learn the old traditional, like, Ode to Joy, or Star Spangled Banner, or something like that. So she's bored, she's getting irritated, and she has to keep, going through the chords and stuff like that. So, but now, like today, she had a class where she was learning Prince, Raspberry Beret.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right, so this is basically her first mainstream song she's going to learn.
Right.
The excitement on her face, right? So, I guess a question that just sparked in my mind: if you were training someone,
sure,
what would you do? How would you train to keep somebody inspired? Would you go through? Okay, these are the standards you got to learn. Would you go through learn a song and then?
In my mind, it's individual. Everything is about the individual. And I might have a pattern for how I did it or how someone else did it. And I might try to work with you in that pattern. But if it's not working, I'm generally not the kind of person that forces it. Okay. But I have a 7.5-year-old. So we're on the same chord here. And we got her a small, her size guitar for Christmas. And her favorite thing to do is to tune it. She really isn't into playing it that much. And if we do play, it's pretty hilarious because children are like a mirror of who you are, aren't they, right? So when we do sit down to play, she is the little band leader, and she's just like, okay, Mom, I'm going to play this, and then you are going to play this. And I'll say, okay. So that's how she wants to approach it, and I just kind of let her do her thing. I would love for us to be a mother-daughter band 20 years from now or something, right?
Oh, that would be great.
Right?
That would be great.
The dream. But I'm not going to push anything like that. She's got to be her own person and do what she really loves. And, but I'm really excited to hear your daughter's at least found that spark in something that works for her. Because I would hate for her to be turned off just by the method,
Right, and I think that's what it was, because I felt like I was forcing her to learn, how to play guitar. And I felt bad because she would just have these attitudes of going to class. I'm like, oh my God. And then I went out and I bought her a really nice, expensive guitar. I was like, well, maybe that'll make her feel better.
Right.
And then, and it helped a little bit, but, I think it's her learning the mainstream song is what's igniting it. So.
Well, I wish her luck. I really hope she sticks with it because it's a great thing to just to have in your life. It's a great thing. As I said, I didn't start till I was 19, going on 20. And that's actually more than half my life ago now. It just rolls with you. So I hope it works out for her.
So you're in a band.
I am,
Okay.
sort of. Ha. No, I am. I have a project that I've been trying to get a band around for many years, maybe 3 or 4 years. And I had a group that really helped me get it started in the basement all those years ago. And we called ourselves the Bitter Nothings. A drummer named Ross Green, guitar player Noah Green, myself on guitar and doing the songwriting. I love that combo of the three of us. When I feel like the Bitter Nothings, I feel like that's the band. That's what it should be. But
you can find her on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of videos
and I'm
on
also
Facebook.
excited about the Talent Jack service because the whole point of that is to help you link up with people. So to me, it's a benefit to come here and speak with you, and I appreciate that very much. Yeah, but working musicians got other gigs to do. They got to go where the pay is. They can't always do where the heart is, and different things like that. So I understand that, the project broke up and then trying to move on and work with other people and do what I can. So right now I'm playing with a fellow named Peter Fee, and it's been really fun to see how the music changes based on who's the overlay on the lead guitar. What we do when we do it is I play the acoustic guitar and sing, and then we put an electric overlay on the guitar, so it just kind of gives it that fuller, sweeter sort of sound.
Well, I just came up with a new question.
So,
how does one get gigs?
Yeah, that's a great question. Gigging around Madison has been pretty good, but I truly couldn't get on anywhere until I got on Facebook. I'm the kind of person that I was not on Facebook for a lot of reasons until 2017. I finally got on it. Okay. And that's how I get most of the gigs in town. That is the best way to be contacting some of the folks here in Madison and in the area. And another way to get gigs is to go to gigs. Go out to those local musicians' gigs, support them, buy their stuff, listen to what they're doing.
Do you need to have like some type of material for them to see, or you just point
Oh
them to?
no, I mean just go out to someone's show that they're already putting on.
Okay.
Watch how they do it. What venues are the ones that hired that kind of band? Do you know what I mean? Is this band at my level? Well, all right, maybe they'd be up for someone like me. Personally, I've always wanted to play the high noon stage, and I never have. But someday I will find the right contact, and I might figure that out. That's my goal. But I like doing the venues that I do. And I like that there's a lot of opportunity here in Madison and the surrounding little towns that I don't really have to travel very far, and I can get a lot of work done. And guitar is all about emotion for me and getting that emotional release. And so the more
folk rock, right?
Oh, yes,
the
sir.
genre.
Folk rock. Yeah.
Can you tell us about folk rock? Or?
Sure. Well, folk rock to me is music that's about your experiences, but it fucking rocks. Okay, music that's in the songwriter's voice, that is telling the story of the life they have lived or the lives they have witnessed. I just love folk singers. I always loved Woody Guthrie. I always loved Bob Seger. I love Utah Phillips and Ani DeFranco. And those are a lot of things that have shaped how I sound when I play. And to me, it's about telling those stories.
So what's next for Heidi? What is next for you? Your gigs, or where you're going to be playing at?
Well, right now I'm out gigging. Me and Peter are kind of hitting the books here, and we're hitting all the venues here. And we're going to be playing on February 13th at the Art Inn for an anti-Valentine's Day party. That'll be fun. We're going to be playing on February 20th at the Boz Meadery. That should be a really fun venue to play. We're going to go again on February 22nd at Up North. I've been wanting to get back in there for a while. And then another one I want to announce is on March 2nd. We're playing with Magic Conch and some other local bands. And I'm really thrilled to collaborate with those guys. And we'll be at the Art Inn for that show. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem. This is in 2019, so if you see this show like
Oh yeah.
2 years from now, don't go there.
Hopefully 2 years from now we'll still have some things going on around town.
Right,
So
right.
we'll see though. We'll see.
Okay, so this is kind of the point where we go ahead and hear you
Sure.
something for us to listen to, and what we like to do is try to push people to be in their raw, their true thing. Nothing formulated or synthesized or anything like that.
Okay.
True emotions. You can really see what it is to be a true singer and a true guitarist.
Well, I'll give it a shot.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
For fuck's sake, grab your drink, get up and dance. Don't sin that demands a second chance. I'm lying on my back, out of work. I pressed until my last callous burst. I've taken to task, I will fail. I will
Thank